are indeed live from YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm also on IG. So the IG is here. I also got Facebook. I got Twitter. The Izzy versus multiple places. I'm here with Andrew Frank Rodriguez. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Also, just joining us right now, Roberto. What's going on, Roberto? Get that mic on, Roberto.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Roberto.
Okay,
Welcome
good,
back to the
good.
IzzyVerse. I'm streaming on IG, so a lot of people don't know this, but we're playing on YouTube. You guys are on YouTube, and these guys are on IG. So I'm just playing the IG video here, but I'm gonna let people see what's going on through IG. So if you see right there, let's see what you can do there. Look at that. That is a nice little camera with everybody there, including myself. And look at me. I'm showing off on camera.
Hey,
So I see someone's there. All right. Say hello. Make sure you
hello.
comment, man. I want to see some comments there. I want to see some likes. If you hit a like, that's going to be great. That's going to help me out a lot. So those of you guys that are on IG, I'm about to let you guys go in IG. I'm going to talk to you guys soon. But if you watch the YouTube channel today, you're going to get a chance to win the two prizes that I have here. I got the Yoda and I got the Vader comic book. So come on down, Yoda and Vader. Look at my Vader's upside down and stuff. So guys in IG, I'll see you soon. Let's go to YouTube. All right, that's kind of hard to manage, guys. It's like I'm trying to see this and I'm trying to see that and I'm trying to see everything going on. But what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Izzyverse, guys. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So we're gonna
No,
be
thank you.
talking today about Andor, and really what we want to focus on more about is Andor and Rogue One, because we can't talk about Andor without talking about Rogue One. So I know Andrew and I know Roberto. And myself. I actually finished watching Rogue One about an hour ago. I just finished watching it again, and I have to say, man, what a good movie, man. What do you guys
hmm
think, Roberto? You tell me what you love about Rogue One?
Oh, there's so much about it. Um, I think it's one of the it's grittier, almost real world Star Wars shows. It's like it's not as it's this is the world of the rebellion and the empire right before everything's about to explode.
Hmm.
No pun intended.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and you kind of see this realism that you didn't see in the movies. Not everything is glitter. Not everything is shiny. Not everything is optimistic. There's some more raw, real emotions that you see. There's some little things that you kind of start to fill in, like kind of all the stuff, like what happens between the end of Revenge of the Sith
Yeah,
and A New Hope, and you kind of get a glimpse of that, especially with like characters that like popped in from the Clone Wars, and then also appeared in Star Wars Rebels, which I know came out after Rogue One. At least his appearance, Saw Gerrera's appearance. So he was in the Clone Wars. He popped back in Rebels. He pops back here, and you kind of see
Hmm.
this. Okay, there's this continuity of other people who've been out there, and kind of like it feels in a little bit like, so what happened? Like if you ever saw the Clone Wars, like whatever happened to so and so who like got trained by the Jedi and then kind of abandoned. And everyone always loves those little side character stories.
Yeah.
Um,
What about you, Andrew? You tell me what's your love for Rogue
you know
One.
what? I'll say the best. It is a great espionage film. A great Tom Clancy, uncommon valor. Like it's it's both a it's both a spy film,
It's a
and
heist. It's a heist
a
film.
heist, and on top of that, it's also a big revenge film. And you got three of these three great tropes playing together, and they did it well. And it was just such an uncommon gem to see it in a Star Wars film, where you really only see like just you shoot droids, you shoot. No, the
Hmm.
droid was in on it. Everybody was like, all the characters were very well made. My
mhm.
boy Donnie Yen, from years
Oh,
and
Donnie Yen,
years of
man.
like,
Whew.
I'm like, he was a Jedi like esque character. Like he wasn't a Jedi yet. He was just too young, man. And also, I wanted when I saw this, like, I'll post when this book came out, like basically the Star Wars Rogue One book, like the Ultimate Visual Guide. I had to buy it because I love the droid, and like I said, I'm a big fan of the droid, and I just went like, I need to buy the book just because that's there. Yeah, great
Yeah,
character development.
I'm gonna say, watching it when it first came out, it was the first of what would have been multiple, right? So it came out back in 2016, and it was really it was a show. It was a movie that probably would have been a show today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that, right?
Yeah.
I would say Rogue One would have definitely have been a Star Wars show if Disney Plus existed then. But I like the fact that it became a movie and it gave it the love of a movie. And it was, first thing I have to say, the cast, right? You had a cast of actors. And the same's gonna be said about Andor as well, because you have top tier talent who are in this movie as well as this show, and they're just the best of the best. You know what I mean? And when you look at Rogue One and you see the people that's here, that really starts with Felicia Jones and Diego Luna, who are our main characters, right? It's really a Felicia Jones story. It's a Gin Eros movie, right? But Diego is a very strong supporting lead, I would say, right? And it's the story really between them two. But then you had Mikkelsen, who's playing Felicia's dad, Gladian.
yeah,
You had Ben Mendelsohn, who's always the perfect villain in a movie.
yep.
You know what I mean? He's like the perfect villain playing Orson. Orson Kenrick. I'm trying to say his name. Kennick, the director. And first of all, I love him. He's one of those guys that when I see him, he is so good in his role. And then you mentioned Andrew Donnie Yen, right? Who, I am with the Force and the Force is with me. I am with the Force and the Force. Yeah, the Force was with him because no blind man could do the stuff he was doing in that movie.
Dude,
Forrest Whitaker as
yeah.
well was another
Sam Guerrero
great.
became like a big character in Star
Yeah,
Wars. Yeah,
and
just
he's coming back too. And let's not forget our droid K2SO.
Yes.
Alan Tudyk, the best droid in all of Star Wars lore. Fight me on it, guys. Fight me. Because
how dare you? How
he
dare you?
has
Yeah.
the attitude that you want. The
Hmm.
fact that everything he says comes with a very sarcastic tone that follows it, even when he's being sincere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was, and he is coming back for Andor, so I'm happy to say that. Oh, let's not even forget even our lower tier supporting cast. You had Riz Ahmed. Riz Ahmed. He just played this
Man,
pilot, right? So it's just Jimmy Smith returning as the senator. Um, and we have so many cool moments, and
Yeah.
I just want to take this time to give Rogue One the love it
dude,
deserved. So what we'll do
dude,
right now
yeah,
is we're gonna talk a little bit about Rogue One, because in order to talk about Andor and what we know is to come, you got to go back to Rogue One. All right, so today is a spoiler heavy Rogue One um, review, I
yeah.
guess. How many
Yeah.
years later?
Technically, a spoiler for Andor because we know how it ends.
Right.
You already know
So
how it ends, so let's see how it starts.
so
Like,
let's
Yeah.
get started. Let's get started. I'm gonna pull up the screen. We know Andor is coming. We know that we're gonna be seeing Andor. We're gonna have a 3 episode starting tomorrow. Actually, starting tonight. I believe it's at 3 o'clock over here in the East Coast. They're gonna put up the 3 episodes. That's a lot of time, man. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'll be able to catch all 3 episodes tomorrow, but I'm gonna do my best to at least catch one of them.
Hmm.
Um, and stuff. But let's go ahead and let's talk about the true star of Rogue One, and that is Felicia Jones.
mhm.
Um, she signed up to do a multi picture deal, but she only got to do the one movie. Um, I find that as a shame because she is a tremendous character in this movie. One thing I could say about this movie, this Star Wars movie, even though it's a Star Wars movie, it is an adult driven movie. It is complex. It is not. It like we said. Spoiler for a movie that came out years ago. It doesn't end on a happy note.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It ends with hope, of course, but doesn't end on a happy note. We'll talk a little bit about that ending when we get to it. But Andrew, talk to me a little bit about Jin Eros.
Well, what I love about it is like her father, of course, played by Markerson, who is
Mickelson.
essentially, yeah, was a hopeful to being The Witcher, but they went the other direction, which I still love that direction. But my God, when he was one of the, or maybe the architect of the Death Star, he was like, which essentially the brainchild of the weapon that makes it go boom and the planet's gone. He took his children into hiding on a planet that was, I think it was called Scarif, right? Because I'm looking at, again, I took out my book just in case for the information. And like, yeah. It was pretty much, it's called Lemo. Like, the funny thing is, you got great new planets to play on with. They gave you like a good story. They really didn't, so she was raised there on a planet in seclusion. So like her whole entire life was, remember, child, stormtroopers going to come and take me one day and kill me. So whatever you do, if someone does come, run and go into hiding. The man set up the entire island, an entire piece of an isolated planet, just to raise his family in peace, because he was just that, he knew he was that much a dangerous commodity. And so this girl raised with like not only the hatred of the Empire, but then what the Empire did, like killed her family. Spoiler alert: her parents died. Both of them, or allegedly. Wink, wink. Spoiler alert. Because it's been a few years. But yeah, she grew up with this like really bad chip on her shoulder, and then she just started becoming like a rebel, like, and indirectly like a rebel of herself. Then she found Kazan, and then joined up with him. It's just her character. If you ever watch one of those characters who are pretty revenge driven, she did all the steps she needed just to get to the man who took out her father. She really didn't give a care about. I mean, she cared about the rebellion, but she was just like after that one dude.
Yeah, it was a revenge. Yeah. It was all about revenge. So,
Yeah.
So going into this, let's talk a little bit about the plot, right? The plot of this movie stems from the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
And really, it's a good way of filling in a plot hole that may or may have not been done on purpose. But really, as the story goes, when the executive producers came up with the idea, they were going back to A New Hope. And if you look at the scroll in A New Hope, it mentions the Rogue One gang, right? It doesn't necessarily say Rogue One, but it says Rebel Spies.
Yeah,
That's
battalions or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Rogue One. Rogue One is really just the name that Riz Ahmed's character gave him when he couldn't think of a name. He just came up, yeah, we're Rogue One. And say, oh, okay, yeah, done. We didn't give you clearance. Oh, I'm going anyway. You know what I mean? We're doing it anyway. So it was to fill a plot hole, but man, did they fill it up really well. You know what I mean? So Roberto, tell me a little bit about this plot hole and what we know about it.
So I think the little bit of the problem is, yes, like you said, the spies that they mentioned, the scroll, but I think the thing that everyone also talks about is when the Death Star blows up, everyone's like, wait, the only thing was this little tiny exhaust port, you couldn't have that properly, like that was the one way. So it was that easy, this whole big, super station, and hey, it's just, put the, like a nugget in the exhaust pipe and boom, it's gone. But it kind of helps develop as you see, like, Galen Erso, who worked on it, and when, I guess as the story picks up, is where, Jin kind of hears this message from her father, like, hey, yeah, I may have done this evil thing, but the whole time I was trying to figure out a way to undo this work. Like I knew they were going to do it with or without me. It's kind of like, so I might as well bend my hand and put this thing. So he puts in this flaw. They explain the flaw, so it makes sense. Okay, here there's something with the thermal reactor. There's something with the exhaust port. It was very intentional of how easy this space station could have been destroyed, and kind of, and so part of the plot is there's this rumor that Galen has sent a message, this pilot, and Bodhi, and he gets that he has information from Galen about the superstar weapon. When Jin hears the message, she figures out where she has to go to stop this weapon. But part of it is also like you see that the rebels don't want Galen Urso to be around because they're just like, hey, this is guy's like another, Oppenheimer, somebody who's trying to create, the next atom bomb in the Star Wars world. And if we could stop him, they don't even know that it's him, but they're like, we just got to stop him at any cost. And it switches from kind of this point where, hey, they now it's real. We now have to. She and Andor have to convince the Rebel Alliance that we have to go after this information, and that's kind of like the next plot hole is them trying to go figure out how they're going to steal these plans on this highly secured, kind of like storage lab.
So going to Diego's character. So let's go back to Diego Luna's character of Andor when we first meet him. When we first meet him, it's very clear that he is not your, I guess you could say clean. He's not a clean-cut hero. His hands are very dirty, and right at the beginning, we learned that his hands can get dirty. He doesn't mind making his hands dirty because you had that one person that approached him, and he was just nervous, saying, "Hey, I can't go, but we can't do this, we can't say it." And it was Andor who actually took him out. You know what I mean?
Dude, if you ever watch any cool spy movie or even very good spy thriller, he basically, that was an asset he needed to take out. Like exactly. It really was it was like a clean kill. Okay, you're an asset. You know too much about me, and you hold a secret. If I take you out of it's pretty much a precision kill. Like you are a chess piece asset that needs to be gone. And he just
he doesn't play
first
that.
Few minutes, it was like
he doesn't play that bringing casualties. He's like everyone's out for themselves.
Dude,
the mission. It's all about the mission to him.
Dude, that moment of him shooting that guy, I was like, this is not a typical Star Wars movie. It was like he was cold and calculated. I was like, this is not. And I'm in the theater, and I remember saying that, and in my head, this is probably going to be one of the best underappreciated Star Wars film ever, just because they don't recognize this scene, unless you've been like a big spy, like if you're a big Bond fan and stuff like that. Because even James Bond don't kill too many assets. But any other spy film, Men from U.N.C.L.E., Mission Impossible, all those. I was like, and it blew my mind. It just blew my mind.
We also get, our villain of the movie, right? So our villain of the movie, played by Ben Mendelsohn, who is by far one of my favorite actors because everywhere I see him, he plays a perfect villain, right? Ready Player One. He's a Skrull,
he was
so I don't trust him. You know what I mean? He's a Skrull. I don't trust him. But director Orson Krennic is by far one of the best villains in the Star Wars universe. So underrated, so perfect. The facial expressions he made, and the fact that he was always on top of this game with what was going on. When he approaches Galen and says, where's your family? And Galen's like, they're dead. And his wife shows up like, oh, find the girl, search the house, and he was just making sure that everything was working, even though he knew Galen had problems. He knew Galen was, I guess you could say, crooked in that way, right? Because when he gets to that scene where he gets all the engineers lined up and it says, one of you is a traitor. He knew Galen was the traitor. There's no way he didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's possible for him not to know. that it wasn't Gallon. So, and then Gallon, gives himself up. And what does he do in typical villain fashion? Kills them all.
Yep. He doesn't need
And I
them
lo-
anymore. Yep. He didn't need them anymore.
I think the other thing that even adds to his presence is just that he's also the one. He comes with the Death Troopers, this whole unique brand
Yep.
of trooper that we've never seen before, and they're all in black, they're intimidating, they're even a little bit bigger than the regular troopers, and
Partially
he's got his own
cybernetic.
personal
Yep.
squad.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, they actually hit their target.
Yeah.
no,
Again, very scary in a Star Wars film.
yes.
Dude, Star Wars were hitting their marks. I was like, what am I
I know
watching?
it was so good, man. So we have that. Let's talk a little bit about Saw, right?
Yes.
And we're not talking about the movie here. We're talking about Forrest Whitaker's character. So Roberto, tell me a little bit about Saw Gerrera.
Yeah. So I have this figure. So you first see him in Clone Wars. He's this character who's like, it's almost like a weird, like little bit Seven Samurai type of story arc where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka go to this planet where they're like, we can't get involved because they're not part of the Republic. We're gonna train all these insurgents to overthrow the Separatists. And so we don't want a full Republic thing, so they kind of train everybody, and you see he's got this edge to him, and he's not fully like, I don't trust everybody, even in the beginning. So he gets trained by Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. They kind of, lead the small little insurgency. It's kind of like really the last you kind of see of him. His sister dies in overthrowing this, and he's kind of left being in charge. You kind of see him again in Rebels, and I forget kind of how they bring him into Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon. But he's again there, and you see this kind of quote where he's talking to Rex about Kanan Jarrus, and he's like, well, he's no Skywalker, because he's seen what Anakin can do. But you can see that he's been consistently in this fight, and you can almost see where we're now a little bit like, here's this guy who's paranoid. He sees, this pilot who comes with information. He's like, well, they sent you here to kill me, and I'm going to use this weird truth serum creature who's going to destroy your mind to tell me the truth, the Borg Gullet. Even when Jin comes, he's like, they sent you here to kill me. Like, he's been in this fight for so long. They refer to him as he's broke off from the rebellion. He's an extremist. He's a terrorist. Mm-hmm. He's somebody who's gone to, I think you do see a little bit in that Rebels, like he does do some more extreme moves. Yeah. And so you see more of this, like, he's this guy, he's burned all his bridges, he's just out for blood, nobody can be trusted, it's all about this fight, it's him against the galaxy. And he almost has this realization when he finally dies that, like, okay, like, a little bit like Jin, go make your future, make it right, like, I have kind of screwed everything up. Like, here I am alone at the end of this. It would be curious to see, they do show him in Andor, so a little bit, where is he in that journey? How paranoid is he? Is he before he breaks off from the rebellion? Yeah.
So one thing I can say, we are going to see him. He is going to be in Andor, and Andor is set 5 years before Rogue One, so we're going to get to see Andor within his 5-year period, what's going on in his life. With Saw, one thing he reminded me a lot of General Grievous in the Star Wars prequels, because he at the end of his life he became pretty much a cybernetic man. It was part of him is no longer human. He has to breathe. He needs oxygen to help himself breathe. He's a little wacky in the head now. He lost sense of of things. So, and he's, when it came to Jen, he cared for her, but when the time came, he was like, I gotta let you go. You know what I mean? Even though he told her, he was very honest with her. It's like, I knew you could take care of yourself. I knew it. Was it the right move? Should he have done that? Should he have let her go? Obviously she survived. So he was right in his assumption that she was going to make it out. But was that really showing that he cared? Because he did tell her, I'll be back for you. And he never came back for her.
Well, I wonder if that's a consistent theme within Star Wars. Like, how far are you willing to go to lose your humanity for the sake of your goals? And you end up this shell of a person you were. So, like, he forgot about Jin because the mission was so important. You know, you see Grievous. When you hear about Grievous's backstory, he wanted to become the general of the greatest army in the world. So he became mostly droid in order to do that. Vader, to save Padme, ends up sacrificing most of his humanity and become cybernetic. This like kind of like a warning, like even for Jin and anybody, Andor, like how far are you willing to go? This is what you end up become. This is your fate.
Seriously, he was almost like if he was a force sensitive, he could have been pushed to the Sith. Like really, like in that retrospect, he could have been pushed to the Sith easily. But it's like by any means necessary kind of character. Yeah.
And what was great about Rogue One as well, we talked a little bit about it, and as you said, Andrew, this is not the same type of Star Wars we've seen before. One of the things about it that made it so different, made it so special, was that these characters, pretty much all of them, every single one of them, were not good or evil as the previous versions, right? Han Solo's the only one within the Star Wars universe during the original three that was like, he's kind of like an in-betweener type guy, right? But
yeah.
But the rest of them were very solid. This guy's a good guy. This lady's a good girl. This guy's it was very black and white. Where in Rogue One it was very shades of gray, and pretty much everyone was a shade of gray in this show, including the droids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about these two characters, because these two, you mentioned Donnie Yen. So Andrew, let's talk a little bit about our boy Donnie Yen, who is a force-sensitive being.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, he came up with like the best catchphrase. Dude, he came up with whoever gave me that catchphrase, I'm one with the force is with me. It pretty much, like, if you say may the force with you, that should be your reply. I am one with the force is with me. Like when someone says may the force be with you, that's what you're supposed to be saying, not like it's supposed to you,
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm telling you, it was like these two men. I'm going to tell you right now, when I saw these two guys, and they had like a group of these guys, and these stormtroopers were shooting at these two, and he's just walking. Like, yeah, people are shooting at him, and he's dodging laser fire. Everyone else is getting hit by their mark except for him. And he just comes up with like this, he just has like a bow stick. That's it. That's all he had. That's all he needed. He was blind. He had a bow stick. It was a Zatuichi movement. Done. It was just like, if anyone who doesn't know Zatuichi, highly recommended list of films to watch. But yeah, just the blind swordsman, the blind like bowsman, just took people out. Like, and I'm gonna tell you right now, then his best friend was just like was his mercenary who just was there, like his mercenary brother who's just there to protect him because he does like, I'm just with him because he's my boy, right? That's like it's like your best friend. It's like one guy's very sensitive, the other guy's just too scruffy. Absolute good pairing. And the dude just comes up with like the first time ever. I've never seen a minigun laser rifle, except for maybe video games. I've never seen one in real life. I want it. I swear to God, I was like, everyone, and I swear to God, that year, mad dudes were just like wearing this. You think it's a proton pack, but no, but it's just like minigun laser rifle. I love the fact where they had like this great dialogue with each other, and I'm like, to me personally, like Donnie Yen was like the Jedi you needed in that film, because you couldn't have someone too good or too evil. You would have to be somebody like very in between.
Well, he was the character that was the Force character, the Force sensitive character, because this movie did not have any of that.
Yeah, Chira. Right? I'm sorry, his name is Chira.
Chira Imri.
Chira
like
Imri. Yeah, and
and the other one is Baz or Baze Malabus.
Malbus.
Yeah, Baze Malbus. Yeah.
So they were both of them were were part of this the Star Wars. And look, I'm looking at Baze right now. He looks like he's wearing an iPod. You see the iPod, guys? All right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
So,
that is pretty funny now. But they were
Rip the
best of
iPod.
friends, and Baze was just taking care of. He was pretty much taking care of Don East character. He was taking care of Chimu, and they were close friends. They were the closest of friends, and that was something that was very important in the relationship of these characters. These characters are the best of friends, and you know, Donnie Chan's character was, first of all, he was sarcastic as well, and I love the part when they put the hoodies on everybody's heads, and he was like, "Seriously, guys, I'm blind. Don't you know I'm blind?" But he really wasn't blind like that. You know what I mean? The fact that he was such a sort of force sensitive being, he was the force in a time when the force was kind of dormant, because his fighting skills were so amazing. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah.
take a moment here to talk a little bit. I'm gonna pause for a second, guys,
Yeah.
because I want to share with everybody that it's IzzyVerse. IzzyFest is happening. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm going back to Instagram and stuff, and I'm gonna log into Instagram quickly because I want to share with everybody that I'm gonna make sure we're gonna get a winner right now. You know what I'm saying, guys? You know we need a winner, don't we? So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go into Instagram. We're going to do our IzzyFest. We're going to do our IzzyFest, thing right now. I'm going to do what's called the Wheel of Names. And the Wheel of Names is what we're going to do. So, let me turn on to my IG and make sure all my IG friends are out there. We are live. We are back in IG, guys. Hey, everybody. I plan on doing, and again, I got my boys here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and we're gonna do our first giveaway of the night. So, what do you guys say, Roberto, Andrew? What should we give away first? Should we do the comic book first? Should we do the comic book? All right. What do you think, Dan? Hey, Danny, what's going
yeah.
on? Do you want to do the comic book? We should do the comic book, or do we want to do the Yoda? What do you guys think? Should we do the comic book or the Yoda? What should it be? The comic book or the Yoda? What do you guys say? You tell me, Andrew. You tell me, Roberta. What you pick?
Mm.
All right. While everybody in IG is waiting patiently, we're going to do that. We're going to be doing that listing in a second, guys. So I am going to make sure that all the names that I need on this list is on this list, so that we let everybody know that this is what we're giving. We're going to give a Yoda,
Yeah.
Yoda,
Yeah.
or
Yoda.
or the Vader comic. What we want to do, the Vader comic or the Yoda? You tell me, guys. Let me know in the comments as well. If you guys tell me what you guys want to do first, the Yoda Funko, or do we do the Vader or do we do the Vader comic? So, Roberta, you're saying the Funko first?
Yeah, the Funko.
Okay, so my boy Roberto is saying
An
the
auto of
Funko.
turret.
Andrew, what are you saying?
Dude, bring on the Funko.
So, what
Bring
about
on
you
the
guys
toy.
on Instagram? I'm hearing my boy saying the Funko. Everybody wants this nice little exclusive. Look at that exclusive logo, right? It's exclusive. I never understand this Instagram thing of my camera being backwards. I don't like the camera backward because it's saying Star Wars backwards, but everybody wants the Yoda first. So let's go ahead and check the Yoda. Oh, I see Tito's collections. Let me add Tito's into this list because I want to make sure that we get everybody we could possibly get to win this prize. All right, so if you're watching on Instagram, you'll be able to get to watch the wheel. So go, not on Instagram, on YouTube. If you are in Instagram right now, jump over to the YouTube channel and let me know in the comments that you are in. Hey, Dee Dee is telling me Yoda. She's picking the Yoda as well. Look at that. She is picking the Yoda. No. So let me know, you guys that are watching on the IzzyVerse channel. We're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that they could see it. All right, so I'm going to share my computer, share screen, and we are going to do the window with the Wheel of Names. So there we have it. There's our Wheel of Names. It's really fun, and we are going to spin this wheel. if I could figure out how to spin it. I think I'm gonna figure it out like so. So the wheel is spinning. Let's see who is our winner for the Yoda. It looks like it's gonna be the comic book report, guys. Comic book report. Look at that. You guys won. Comic book report. You have won the Yoda. Right? So we're going to do, you guys want to do the Vader now? I see Danny's on. All right? So we could do the Vader comic book now. What do you guys say? Should we do the Vader comic book? You guys that are on YouTube, you want to look at that? The Vader comic? It's a beautiful comic book. It's a nice variant. It's called Vader Down, issue number 1. It is a variant. It's a Comic-Con box exclusive book that I am giving away today. So, congratulations to the comic book report. I'm gonna let you guys know. I know they're probably busy doing something, but yep, there we go. A Celebrity Comics has Vader comic book. All right, so let me go ahead. We can't let comic book report win twice, right? That'd just be unfair. So what we're gonna do right now, again, as you guys are watching on YouTube, give me a thumbs up, guys. I want to see that thumbs up on YouTube. I know you guys are on YouTube. I want to see those likes. Let's see. Once I see my likes, I can spin this wheel. Maybe you get that chance to do it. So go ahead and hit like on your phone or
like, subscribe, everything you can.
Yeah, oh, I know these people are subscribing. My subscribers are out there. So guys, let me know. You guys that are on Instagram, go to YouTube, subscribe to the IzzyVerse. There's more to come. I'm gonna have some more stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna have a nice fun thing. So come on, where's my likes? I don't see any likes. You guys that are watching on YouTube, I am not seeing those likes. I need to see, if I'm seeing 4 people, I need to see at least 4 likes. Come on, let's get those likes in there, guys. Hey, Wild Goldine, welcome aboard, Wild Goldine. So I'm gonna take this opportunity now. Let's do this because we're gonna go back to our Andor conversations, but we're having a good time, Roberto and Andrew, right? So let's see who wins this one. And the wheel is spinning, guys. The wheel is spinning, and our winner will be Brian Winter Comics. Brian Winter Comics, wherever you're watching, congratulations. You are our winner for the Vader comic book. So the Vader comic book is going to Brian Winter's Comics. Congratulations to Brian Winter's Comics. Congratulations to the comic book report, man. Those guys, man, they actually won before a few months ago, so I'm happy to see that they won again. And I know that's the case. Yeah, 88 Comics, man. You were really close, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we're going to be doing this again tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll be doing another one. I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow. So let's go ahead and stop the screen share here. And you guys are on IG. I will be doing the next giveaway tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the Nate Melendez giveaway. And the Nate Melendez giveaway is I got a Red Sonja, I got a Vampirella, I got a Nijets, and I got an original drawing of a Spawn comic that I'm giving away tomorrow.
Yeah, I want that Red Sonja. I'm sorry.
You want that Red Sonja?
I want that Red Sonja. I'm sorry.
All of them have been signed. All of them are good to go. I have them ready. I put them somewhere. I don't even remember where I put them. They're hanging around somewhere. I think they're right back there somewhere, and I dropped something in the process. But you guys on IG, I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really helps me a lot when you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe and watch the videos. I'll see you next time in the IzzyVerse on you guys that are on IG. You guys that are on the rest of my channel, stick around, and we're going to keep talking about Andor. So, Excelsior. And we'll end that video there. And what we're going to do here is I just want to also share a few other things before we get moving along. Those of you guys, Whatnot is happening this Friday. Yes, I am going to have a Whatnot show starting at 6 p.m. It's going to be the Whatnot Bronx Mega Show. The Whatnot Fridays Bronx Mega Show. If you sign up today and you use whatnot.com, invite IzzyVerse, you're not going to get $10 credit. You're going to get $15 credit. That $15 credit is going to go towards your first purchase, and you could buy anything you want with that $15 without having to pay a dime. I highly suggest you guys do that. Andrew, Roberto, if you haven't done that, I'm asking you guys to do that as well. But those of you guys that are watching on YouTube, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you do that. Come support the Whatnot group. There's so much more going on. Also, if you need some comics, bags, boards, boxes, cards, you name it. BCW is the place to go to get that stuff, and you get a 10% discount with the promo code IzzyVerse, as well as 15% off for comic exposure if you need to buy some comic books there. Whew. That was a mouthful, guys. That was a mouthful, but that was fun. Congratulations to everybody, the Yoda winners, who's the comic book report, and Brian Winter Comics. You're getting the Vader. So congratulations to both of you guys. Make sure you respond to me in IG to let me know that so we can make connections, so I can make sure you get this information. Now let's get back to where we were, and that is talking about Rogue One. And now let's talk a little bit about my favorite android of them all, played by Alec Tunnick, K2SO. What do you guys say about him?
That's Wash. That's a lot. Come on, that's Rosh as a droid. He was killing me. I mean, if you've ever seen his new show, Resident Alien, hilarious. I mean, dude, he is like, to have him to portray a voice, and this is not his first time being a droid. He was also in with Will Smith, but Will Smith and with iRobot. So he was actually the robot from like basically all those robots. So he is multi-talented, voice acting, love him. There is not a bad word I could say about him. And since I'm a longtime Serenity fan, and I'm still praying one day they'll have a part 2, or we get to see a dimension where they had a part 2 of Firefly. Yeah. So there is nothing wrong with this character. Matter of fact, he added the flavor that they actually needed, because it was very heavy, burdened, broken characters, and he is the one who actually brought the humanity in the group. He brought
the comedy too, right?
He brought the comedy too. So like, it's when you.
He wasn't playing. He wasn't a playing character. He was a black and white character too, right? He was an Empire drone. Droid. So he's been repurposed. Yep. He was repurposed, and boy, the attitude that he had was awesome. It's kind of like, what would Chewbacca be like if he was a droid? And I think that's what we got here. That's my comparison. That he's Chewbacca as a droid, right?
Yeah. A lot of droids in Star Wars, and I'll say this like being very politely, they're pretty much like service droids, so they're really always willing to help, except for the exception of like 3 droids, and that's of course R2-D2 and the other one is I forgot her name. Chopper. That and him, and of course you have the sassy one from Solo. We'll never talk about that movie anyway.
It's not a bad movie. Solo is not a bad movie.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's not a bad movie. It was a movie. It was one of those movies where you wanted Harrison Ford and you couldn't get him. That's how I feel about Solo. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And it was like, yeah, but we want Harrison Ford.
Yeah, here's Constellation Prize. Yeah, it's true.
So
that's
the only thing. It suffered because no one's complaining about this guy playing Billy D. Williams' character. Why is his name escaping me?
John Glover.
What was that?
John Glover.
Yeah,
John Glover. No. Yeah,
Donald Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover. I'm talking about his character, who he was playing. He was playing Billy D. Williams.
Lando.
Mando. Thank you, Mando. So no one's complaining about that performance. It was just
the fact that
it wasn't Harrison Ford.
But it was a good Lando. Yeah, it was a good Lando.
We got one more thing to talk about in Rogue One.
Sorry about that, man.
One more thing, guys, that we need to absolutely address, and that is Vader came out. I would say guns a-blazing, but nah, it wasn't guns a-blazing. It was lightsaber blazing. Holy crap, guys.
Creating a meme that was synonymous to like every single badass 3 you'll ever want to do. I mean, Roberto,
So what?
please, just
So
Hey,
what can you guys
sorry, bro.
tell me about Vader in Rogue One? Because when he came out, every moment he showed up was it was a screen stealing performance moment, right?
Oh yeah.
Everything we could say was like, "Mwah, Vader being Vader, Vader being the best." Because
Hmm.
for the first time we saw him, and he's in his tank, right? You see him hanging in his tank, and then you see him talking to Orson, director Orson, and he's doing the choke thing, right? He's doing the choke thing where he's choking him with the fingers. Um, and then finally we get our whole he's teaching Daredevil what a hallway scene looks like.
Mm.
You know what I mean? What can you tell me, guys, about that?
Mm. The hallway scene. That was. I mean, that was amazing. It was just. He just comes in. Everyone thinks they have this chance that they're just gonna face a group of stormtroopers, and it's the red lightsaber. I mean, it's just brutal. I think you kind of saw like how futile it was to just go against him.
Yep.
You
did you see
know,
it in theater?
yeah, I saw it in the theater.
So you know that reaction in that theater was like, oh,
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, it was kind of brought in the horror of Vader. You know,
Hmm.
you kind of see a little bit in the New Hope, and he was this kind of menacing, scary character. But and you know, everyone feared him, and yeah, because he kind of had anger issues and killed someone. But this is kind of like why he was feared.
Hmm.
You know, it was a little bit like a horror film.
It really was. And it felt like a horror film because first of all, look at the lighting. They did this whole lighting scene. Literally saw the fear from the Rebel Alliance members running to get this hard drive out, and they're going, they're shooting for the stars, right? And they're going, come on, man, we gotta go. He's right behind us, and he's just like the things he was that one guy that he just went and he chopped them without even looking at him, right? He's there, he's like that, and I was like,
that
holy
poor
crap!
bro, dude, that poor guy looking at the window when you see the lights and goes right through. I was like, yo.
I thought I was watching a Sam Raimi movie for a second. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So he came out, and that was awesome. All right, let's get into what the next chapter in this whole series. And what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna put up the Andor trailer. Now, because of rights and copyright issues, I'm only allowed to show you the trailer, so we're not going to hear the trailer. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk to what we see and what we know. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to stop this share. I'm going to remove this share right now. And let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Andor. And we'll talk through it. So everybody should be able to see it. And here we go. So right now, we're at the very beginning, and what we're seeing here, just seeing just people, right? We're just seeing people, and what we're noticing really is that there it is. Whew. What do you guys thought
Bro,
when you saw that?
Yeah, it's intense. It's a little reminiscent of the origin of the start of Rogue One, you know, of
And
this
there's our little
peaceful kind of
baby little Andor,
yeah,
and in the Senate. I
yeah.
just love this. They're drinking coffee like nothing, right?
Hmm.
I swear, guys, is that
Right.
You see him on there,
Another
yeah.
Skarsgård.
It's interesting to see clone troopers. So I think it's interesting. We're going to see these very early Empire days.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see too many of those. It's a little bit like what's been covered by Bad Batch. You know,
Hmm.
even by Kenobi, they upgraded like the
Hmm.
whatchamacallit. What were those troopers? Their armor. They were originally called the guys who were with on the Inquisitor base. Those
Yeah.
troopers they got upgraded from their clone helmets.
Yeah. So we see
yeah.
Luger, and what's happening here is
Oh
really
my god. I love those
what we're really
those little
seeing is
drop
that
shits.
people what we're really seeing is that people are like almost fed up with the Empire. They're like, screw it, we're going against the Empire. So I think that's what this show is really going to focus on people saying, you know what, the Empire is evil. We want to rebel against the Empire, and this is really I think this show is going to show us, kind of like the birth of the rebellion in some way, because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the fall of the Senate, of course, and there's
Moss,
Moff,
yeah.
yeah, Moff, who we see again. She's aged well. I got to give her that much.
Hmm. Was that Chopper? Please tell me it was Chopper.
No, that's another droid. He's actually I don't know what his name is. He's in there's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive with him and Andor.
Yeah.
It's like a red boxy droid.
And there goes the new droid. So we are going to see the transition.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because you kind of like, if you ever seen Rebels, you know, you kind of get this one side of the start of the rebellion where these are this kind of group that they're like, yeah, we'll steal from the Empire, we'll do these things that kind of support these other little causes here and there, and they slowly get pulled into the larger rebellion that's been going on. And I think the other interesting thing with Rogue One, where they show the side of the rebellion that you don't see. Like, everybody's always this optimistic, of course we're the good guys, we're not the Empire, we're not going to do shady stuff. And you get like this one guy on the side who's like, I don't care what you do, you kill the guy, you don't let anybody know, my orders stand. You see what Andor says, you don't know the things I've done. And you kind of see this progression, like, where did some people lose their way with the rebellion and almost start mimicking the Empire, becoming the thing that you don't like just for the sake of the cause?
Yeah, because again, all this time beforehand, we talked about this all throughout this show. It always was, oh, they're the good guys, they're the bad guys. Well, in reality, we're talking about government officials, right? That's what
We
we're
all
talking
want
about.
that. Me personally, I hope for another Rogue's Run movie, which is basically like Inglourious Bastard style. Excuse my language,
Yeah.
but I'm for this. Like, I really love what I'm seeing. The one thing I was a little confused, like really confused, is where in the universe of Star Wars, like where in all this universe of Star Wars, you do not actually see any of the worlds. Like, it's not going to be on Coruscant. It's not going to be. You do see Coruscant, so I love the fact they actually show Coruscant, but everywhere other else seems to be very new. So it's like these are new planets, new destinations, new places to look at. I would love to see where in the Star Wars biomes. Like, if you ever saw that, like I would love to see like where they set up these places to actually film. I'm liking what I'm seeing, and having looked at it, it actually does have like this oppressive feel. And and that's the funny thing. It's like the Rogue One universe really did pour the kind of like the resistance, like the French resistance of like World War II portion of it. Like, you really do see like a resistance movement being brought up. Yeah.
And it's interesting because you see this contrast a little bit in The Mandalorian when they're boarding that Imperial ship and that one Imperial guy's like, you know, you people, you know, I don't know what is it. We brought peace and prosperity. There was order, a time when there was order. You didn't have this chaos. You kind of make this thing like we were in the right, and you guys just like ruined everything. You know, all you rebels and all you know. And it is interesting because you get to see a little bit. You're gonna see a little bit of why they thought they were in the right, why they thought everything was better, and really where it wasn't all that glamorous and good. You know, like you said, like the grittiness, that pressure. But it is interesting because you do see that like this mentality still stayed consistently, and I wonder if you see where some Imperials, like where they gain this like almost like arrogance about. Maybe they were a little bit shaky, but then they see, oh yeah, it is really good. So obviously we're in the right because look at the fruits of our labor.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. One of the things that really stood out to me when I was watching today, I was watching a little bit of some of the previews for Andor. There was this great scene between Andor and the new character Luthen Rael, played by Stellar Skarsgård, who's he's another one of those actors.
Dude, that whole family,
amazing. Yeah, the whole family, man. I love him. I personally I love him in Thor, so I can't wait to see him again. But one of the things that really stood out with this conversation that the two of them had was that they were they were talking, and apparently Andor did he stole something from him. He stole the box, and you know Lutheran was like, okay, what you want for it? And he's like, well, I don't know who you are. I was like, tell me what you want for it, or tell me how you got it. And he's like, what are you talking about? Well, I'll give you an extra 1,000 credits for it. And he's just showing him his money. He's like, I'm loaded, dude. And then afterwards, he's like revealing who he is to Andor. He's like, you don't want to be dealing with them. You don't want to be dealing with the Empire. You want to fight the. He definitely wants to like recruit him in some way. So it's interesting to see what their relationship will be like in the show. I think that's one of the big things
Yeah.
I want to see. I also want us to be able to see when new characters come in that we're gonna see returning, like Saw, K2SO. We're gonna be seeing them doing their thing, and we're gonna see what
So,
happened to Mon Mothma, and what happened there with the Senate and how the Senate was really crumbling as a result of the Empire. So that's gonna be a really exciting thing to see. I'm hearing a lot of good things, guys. I'm hearing a lot of good things about the
Yeah.
show. So I'm really excited for it. Let's wrap things up. We're about to hit that 1 hour mark, and it's time for me to go to bed soon because tomorrow is a big day for me. I am going to be a guest on a show in the morning coffee with Roselle. I gotta look up that information so I can send it out to you guys so you guys see it. I might be giving away something there in that show. So be on the lookout for that show. That's gonna happen around 11 a.m. I believe. So
okay.
go check that out. But let's get started. Starting with you, Andrew. Where can people find you, man?
Well, I will be. You can always find me at Andrew Frank Rodriguez Art on Instagram. Of course, big fan of Instagram. I've been making reels about my latest work and showcasing some of my old work. I'll be doing a I'll be doing a an event in Flushing. I'm sorry, no, in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and it's my first table since COVID. I haven't been really tabling a while, so I'm touching on that. You can find me in the El Gran, the El Gran, and you can. I will post my information on Andrew Frank Rodriguez Art on Instagram. You can also find me on Andrew Frank Rodriguez Art on Facebook as well. Also, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I finished a project. It's going to be going to it's still in production. It's going to be a game. It's going to be going, hopefully it's going to get through. And I'll make an official announcement during Christmas or Christmas
Awesome.
time. But yes, I am absolutely, I actually have one more, role-playing game style Dungeons and Dragons, but not Dungeon Dragons. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
Yeah.
Vanguard, but an official RPG tabletop game underneath my belt. One more, and hopefully I have another, I have another commission working on right now for February, which is
Awesome.
again a big game. I'm sorry, guys. Uh, the thing I'm doing right now takes like a while just for you to get.
All right, Roberto. Your camera just went out. I was gonna put you on the
Oh,
phone.
yeah. There
There
I
you
am.
go, Roberto. Where can we find you, man?
Yeah. You could find me at Calvo underscore DIBRO. I do some action figure photography. I also help out with a Star Wars toy collecting page called the Star Wars underscore collector. I sent the link there. Maybe see if you could drop that in the comments. So if you're interested in following all the new stuff about Star Wars toys, Lego stuff, Funko, Hot Toys, Black Series, Vintage Collection, we're usually posting about things that are coming out, the links when they first drop, when things go on sale. If someone finds like, hey, Amazon's got this, hot item back in stock, or they actually have it at a really good price, or um, yeah, you can follow them, give a like there, and you'll get a whole bunch of information about Star Wars collectibles.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, Roberto. Let's get me back on the screen. All right, guys. As far as we go, It has been a blast. Tomorrow there will not be a show. Instead, I'm going to be doing some little pop-ups on IG. I might do a pop-up here in YouTube. But tomorrow's the big day for me, guys. IzzyFest is becoming a big boy. But more importantly, I'm going to be at AEW Grand Slam, and I might put some footage out there so you guys to see. I'm gonna record a little of this, a little bit of that, and check things out. But be on the lookout for that one. I also have an interview scheduled for this Thursday with Keiko from. I'm trying to remember the name of her company. I'll look it up, but I'll make sure you guys know it's gonna be a recorded version, and I will continue IzzyFest. So tomorrow is going to be the Nate Melendez giveaways. I'm gonna be giving away a Vampirella. I'm gonna be giving away a Red Sonja, Ninjets, and a Spawn original piece. So, and I think I found the books right here. So let me go ahead and pull them out here while I get it. So my headset's gonna come off, but that's okay. You guys can still hear me. There we go. There's our books here. So I can hear you guys, right? I gotta put my headsets back on so I can hear you. I'll just leave one headset on right now. But you got the first issue of Ninjets #1. This is a variant issue. Also the Vampirella book. We got the Vampirella book. That's gonna be given away tomorrow as well. The Red Sonja piece, like so. And finally, I've been promising this for a while, but it's the Spawn #1. And it is an original drawing. This is original piece. All that's going out tomorrow. Tomorrow is where we're going to be giving away these books. Dude, these people still living. Oh, man, I love that, Eddie. Eddie was our winner yesterday. Look at this. These dudes are still living in medieval times in PA. Well, man, who told you to go to PA, man? But
Hey,
we love you
PA
guys
is
in
great
PA,
to
man.
say, man, but
All right, guys. It's been a blast. I will be seeing you guys next time on the Izzyverse. Don't forget What Not Friday, guys. Don't you forget about What Not Friday. Let me put that up one more time before we leave. What Not Friday. I'm giving away. I'm going to be doing a $15 credit if you sign up on your first purchase. So make sure you do whatnot.com, invite Izzyverse, and you will be able to get that $15 credit towards your first purchase. And that's it. If you just get one purchase, that's it. You don't have to pay for anything else, and you get something for free. So I highly suggest you do it anyway. So go to Whatnot. We're gonna have a big show this Friday. It's the Bronx Mega Show. I'm gonna kick it off at 6:30. Lone Wolf is gonna follow. Then Lunatic Comics. Then we are gonna have Absolute Fury Comics, and then to wrap it up with Big IG, Big IV. What am I saying? Comics. So be on the lookout for that, guys. I will be seeing you guys at next time on the Izzyverse. Until then, Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Excelsior. Take care.